Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, world. Thank you for joining us today on Morning Spring. And it's been a rainy, night, but then it has continued this morning, quite chilly. Still rainy right now. The weather is a bit cold, and of course, everywhere wet. I'm sure the farmers will be happy, but maybe other people who are not farmers might not be too happy because it's the time that you're supposed to be getting out of your house. The rain is still drizzling, and I'm sure many HR might not relate this morning, so we have to do whatever we have to do to be at work. And of course, the HR department should be understanding, especially with people that might not have a history of coming late to work. Femi Ojo is my name, and I welcome you. And of course, Daniel is there. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Femi.
Yeah, how do you do?
Oh, great. How do you do?
Yeah, very well. How was your night? Quite a rainy one at my end.
Yeah, rainy, cool.
Yeah, too now.
Cool night, yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, it's a beautiful, today's Tuesday, right?
Yeah, it is.
Beautiful Tuesday morning. Good morning to all our distinguished viewers all over the world. Thank you once again for joining us on Morning Spring. This is Western Spring Television. It's a rainy Tuesday morning. Trust you're up from bed, or trust you had a great night rest. We have to be here as always. Some of us had to, just get in the rain, and since we are not salt, you're not going to melt if you get rain. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Absolutely. So if it's good to be alive, it's good to be kicking. Sometimes you just have to do some exercise. I actually came very early. I was at our sister station, the radio station, around 6 a.m. So, but it rained. It was still raining. So I just had to, run down just before the time, just to be here on time.
Yeah.
Even though it's still in the same, within a few seconds, you can actually be drenched by the rain. It started raining since last night, and it's still raining. But it's quite cool, which is quite, it's okay, compared to those people experiencing excessive heat. I still prefer the cool weather anytime when it's not so hot. Quite interesting. A lot has happened. Just yesterday, talking about work, you're talking about HR. They should be understanding for those who do not have that record, that history of late coming.
Yeah,
talking about work and service. The world's longest serving KFC worker just passed, died in the UK. Pauline Richards, working for the same organization 47 years. I mean, can you beat that? 47 years in the same organization. How do people do that? I mean, do you have any idea?
No, I don't.
47 years. I mean, it seems as though she was born for that.
For that work. Yeah.
Exactly. 47 years. That explains why, when some people work for the government, here in Nigeria, the maximum you can serve for the government is 35 years. So most people, after 35 years of service, they can't really do anything else. They can't. They try, they struggle. I mean, because they've spent basically almost the better part of their life, working for an organization. So for Pauline Richards, who just passed 47 years working for KFC, that's a great one. That's a great one. I'm still talking about work. In Nigeria, when Muhammad Buhari died, the ADC actually accused President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of trying to make some appointments to favor the North, people from northern Nigeria, saying, if you appoint them, it won't buy you their votes. One of those appointees, the son of former president rather, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, son of former president Mohammed Babangida, actually turned down an appointment. He was appointed by Mr.
Allegedly.
President. Yeah, we saw the letter. Okay, yeah. The letter was published.
I'm saying that because there's been a counter information to that.
That it didn't turn, but at least a letter was released saying he turned down that appointment. And we actually saw the letter where Mohammed Babangida wrote to the president saying that, with all due respect, he will be turning down that appointment. Well, if there's an allegation that it wasn't true, we do hope to get more reports. But at least the letter, I don't know if our producer can put up that letter we saw that actually was released yesterday.
I have to say that because there have been a swift reaction to that through the Ibrahim Babangida media office in Mina, describing the letter as fake and politically motivated.
Oh. You mean his father? His father's office?
No, him.
Ibrahim. Mohammed Babangida.
Yeah. Okay. Through Ibrahim Babangida media office, right?
That's the father.
and saying, speaking in a telephone interview, Mahmoud Abdullah, the spokesperson for the media office, said Babangida immediately dismissed the letter as a fabrication for mischief makers when it was brought to his attention. And so there's been, another angle to that, saying, no, I am ready to work. So it's a concocted letter from disgruntled elements, and I'm ready to serve as the chairman of the Bank of Agriculture.
Oh, that'll be great. Yeah, that's from Mohammed himself, right? Oh, that's better.
So it is. You know, when the
because some newspapers actually reported it yesterday.
Right. And that's him yesterday.
Yeah, it came
towards
out.
The evening.
Oh.
These reporters that came out. You know, when the era of things flying around, of leaked documents, possibly there might be intention. Or somebody say, no, I'm no more doing this.
Yeah,
and maybe, and you know, the letter has gotten into some people's hands, and for whatever reasons, they've already leaked it. And maybe there might be, you know, rescinding of such a decision to say, no, I'm not doing it. Now, in Osun State, there have been letters, purported resignation letters of some senators in the state. You know, Senator Fadaunsi, representing Osun East, that's Ife Jesha. And then Senator, I think the man from Lere Yewumi, Akogulere Yewumi in Ikire, acts there, say no, they are resigning. And that the date on those letters was June 12th, actually. So, and I saw it over the weekend. In fact, one of the PDP members who's actively, is active on social media rather, made a rebuttal today. On that day to say, no, that's not true. That particular thing has been refuted and all of those things. And here we are. And so there has been back and forth. And it seems it's true. It seems it's not true. So many people will put so many things up. The same thing goes for, Mohammed Babangida's purported resignation. In which we saw, and towards the end of the day, we saw, I'm ready to serve.
In the case of Atiku Abubakar too, when he resigned, someone came out to say, no, it's not true. But he had to stand by it. Yeah, one of his media actually said it was false, whereas it was actually real. He resigned.
As far as that is concerned as well, I think it was Polibe, the spokesperson, who said that wasn't meant to be released at that time because it was during the burial of Muhammadu Buhari, and which so many persons accused Atiku Abubakar of making political decision of a national dimension by not respecting somebody's funeral. At least let it pass. And Polibe had to come and say it wasn't meant to be released at that point. So we're in the era of everybody saying leaked document,
and the era of AI as well.
Well,
so we should be
so
careful.
many things.
But more importantly, when people make decisions, they should stand by it. If you're not ready to do something, don't make, because once you make that decision, once you put it in writing on your system, anything can happen. It can get leaked anyhow.
I agree. And it speaks to the quality of people you are working with, actually, and what, there is a whole top secrecy, not just about being a courtist in an organization. There are things that should be said. If it's said on a table, it remains on that table.
Absolutely.
If it's said among some people, it should remain among them. If it's been leaked, and sometimes people will tell you politicians have a way of doing their stuff. They do things by themselves and say it's leaked because they need a reaction. Should these be? Should these not be?
Absolutely.
And then when they see the atmosphere...
Just like in Osun State, where we all know that the governor has been trying to join the ABC, but personally, he wouldn't say anything.
I don't know how you come about that information. When you say all
hold on, Femi.
I don't
Politicians
know.
both from the APC, politicians from the APC and the PDP have said it, that he has tried to join the APC. The APC is not letting him.
But the governor hasn't said that.
That's what I'm saying. That they
we have that conversation
people,
today.
the people involved won't say anything, but they will try to feel the pulse of the people to know, okay, how would they react if we do this? So it happens.
It happens, actually. But when you say we all know, I've not sat at any meeting in which anybody has made a decision, so cut me out on that.
Whether you like,
but we are hearing
whether you like it or not, yes.
And the program this morning is dedicated
every in
to
Osun
that.
State, people are quite aware that even there was a song, I saw it, like Davido, lyrics and part of the song where he said, oh, a broom sweeps better, moving from broom to umbrella and all that. So it's not a secret that the governor actually made moves.
But when you have tried to make it look like I sat at a meeting where such...
No, we are talking about the general public.
And talking about AI, now the issue of the defection of Mr. Governor, to APC, it's no news again. Actually, it has been in conversation for long.
Yeah, we don't have to deny it. The program
is dedicated to that because we have made, a push to have both ends this morning. We hope that we be here. But then another thing is the fact that there is a lot going on with AI, I'm telling you. I'm not talking about in this instance. I saw a particular video, yes, 2 days ago, about Rihanna singing for the memory of Muhammadu Buhari. You're laughing, right?
Oh, boy.
Except you are tech savvy for you to know that this thing can't be.
No, sometimes, I mean, you will know because I've seen lots of videos of Nigerian broadcasters. You see them reading out news, but you know that this is not their accent.
Of course, that's superimposed.
Exactly. You know that this is not the voice.
In fact, many popular broadcasters seen advertising things on the news program.
So you see them, their voice.
For many persons that are not as educated or are not as tech savvy, they will believe it. If I want somebody say, oh, Rihanna honors Muhammadu Buhari, and I saw the video, the image was looking like that of Rihanna, very superimposed and was singing, mentioning Muhammadu Buhari, and I saw that of Simi again. Simi Adekunle go to wife. And all of those things. Meaning, these days, right, if you get an information, before you churn it out, before you repost, before you say a sent as received, before you put it on your timeline, especially if you want to maintain your integrity, check. Check. Absolutely. And check again. Actually, so don't be in a hurry to feel, oh, I want to be the best first to break it. You might become embarrassed.
Absolutely.
Even if it is true, there are ways politicians will recall that thing and say, oh, this thing is fake, and you have to just check and recheck, especially the spread of fake news, misinformation, half-truths, and all of those, because people want that click. People want views. People want likes. They can just put up anything. An incident of 10 years ago might just be brought back to say, oh, this is happening right now in Igbaraoke, 7 a.m. Do not pass that place. Some elders are on the road. And maybe, I'm not saying can't be, but you need to check and recheck so that you don't spread panic. So the best is to even confirm from the source, from the direct source. Especially people from this realm of ours. And that should be the way it should be everywhere. Now, the newspaper is next. Stay with us. All right, thank you for staying with us. We start the newspaper segment this morning looking through the various headlines from major dailies by looking at the Daily Sun. Daily Sun, we hope we will have the sun today with the chilly morning that we are having this morning now. Daily Sun has this bold headline: Labour Party crisis deepens. LP crisis deepens. With a rider to that, saying Obi's running mate joins forces with Abure faction, declares presidential ambition. Obi's running mate, that was Datia Ahmed, right?
Yeah,
Datia Baba, yeah.
He attended the meeting just to negotiate on behalf of Peter Obi.
All right.
But we also understand that Peter Obi is not, wouldn't have any of that, exactly.
LP crisis deepens. Obi's running mate joins forces with Abure faction, declares presidential ambition. And below that, retired police officers and some activists protesting poor police personnel salaries, pension and condition of living at the National Assembly Abuja yesterday. It was quite an ugly sight, actually, when you see the pictures from that. And they were joined by Yele Sowore.
Yeah.
And all of those
Yele Sowore accompanied them to the force headquarters. Then we also have another group that went to the National Assembly, and they were standing under the rain. And
you need to see the pictures. They are holding. Check the pictures. Those are the pictures depicting a poor paid policeman with some other persons clicking glasses with WhatsApp money on the table, and they are laughing. And this is supposed to be the policeman protecting them, looking haggard and ugly. See that in that picture. Some of the banners read, a Nigerian police officer earns 20,000 monthly as pension. 20,000 naira monthly as pension. But the ladies and gentlemen monitoring the pension, you can see the picture depicting that in suits, and they are having bags of money in front of them. Another banner reads, "Police #police protest. Decent salaries now, and police slavery. pensions for retired officers, dignity for those in uniform, and of course, Yele Shore is on the other inside of the picture. This is it. You know, many persons were indifferent to that protest yesterday to say they are going to look at the people that would disturb the procession of the same retired police officer. If the current officers will be the one telling them don't go, then they will say, woe betide you. This is what you're about to face if these things are not fixed. But then having Yele Shore again, some will put political readings to that to say, oh, it's about to make a point. But the issue here for many Nigerians is these people that are protesting, are they liars? Are they suffering? Why are they suffering? Is it what they deserve, actually? And you know, I said something yesterday. There is an insecurity implication to this.
Absolutely.
These are idle hands, but with experienced minds.
And disgruntled as well.
Disgruntled, angry with the system. And that's why, so they are willing tools, if I can put that, or, you know, waiting, don't let me say willing, waiting tools in their own hands.
Absolutely. I'm talking about what Yele Shore. Well, there's nothing political about it. For him to have, you know, stood up for them, you know, it's quite commendable. No, it doesn't matter. When you are fighting a just cause, it doesn't really matter. Let people read meanings to it. Every day, try to politicize everything. But again, him standing up for the retired police officers was quite commendable.
And I said, what people say when they are going to see if the current serving policemen will be the one to tell their former, you know, the veterans, the current veterans, to say, no, don't enter. And then we'll say, you know, many persons yesterday were like, okay, let them to experience what they used to do to people while they were in service.
Absolutely. So what the police did was that they started warning against that some people might take advantage of it. There might be some hijack.
We are used to that. I'm sure knowing I just will tell them that's a lie that has been, you know, used severally. And governors, media leaders, others grace Lateef Jakande lecture in Lagos tomorrow. Again, ex-Kogi Governor Bello's request for foreign medical trip fails. All right, that's a former governor who has tried so well, be the architect of modern Kogi's, state. Why is the White Lion seeking to travel abroad for medical care? Yeah. What happens to the good work he has done for 8 years ago?
When he has 80.2 billion naira fraud case against him, he's still, you know, requesting to go to the UK for treatment.
That is what.
And we're just talking about the fact that our leaders have failed us. Buhari just passed in London hospital, and a lot of people have been criticizing me, including myself, and rightfully so, that you failed to fix Nigeria's healthcare system. Now, Yaya Bello is still, you know, seeking to go abroad. Come on, that's laughable. That's laughable. When you have 80.2 billion naira.
And you know something about lions? He is even a rare breed of lion. He's a white lion. Actually, a white lion doesn't really travel. They maintain their domain. They are kings. So, well, whatever that means.
They shouldn't let him go anywhere.
Well, it's the law.
In fact, he should be restricted to a primary health care.
He's a suspect.
Yes, I know. Yeah, Femi, he should be. See, Yaya Bello should be restricted to the primary health care center in Kogi State.
Yeah, if actually we have laws
in Kogi,
you know, that allows that.
Let him enjoy what the people of Kogi State are enjoying.
No, let him even enjoy the reward of his labor.
Absolutely.
Actually, because he has been there for 8 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So what the people enjoy?
Not even the people now. He has done so well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. In Kogi State.
Yeah. The white lion for that matter. That should be roaring. All right. So FG raises the alarm over Nigeria's forest depletion. VP says over 90% lost. Deforestation threatens economic stability. And pay our 35,000 naira wage award arrears. Civil servants tell FG. And top strip, assembly by-election, complaints, petitions, trail APC primaries in 12 states. And lastly, retired officers defy rain, storm police headquarters, announce others over poor salary pension. With a rider saying IGP meets protesters, denies opposing exits from pension scheme, because many of them are complaining that they don't want the contributive pension again. It's a scam to them, it's not working.
They said it's exploitative.
Exploitative, these are the issues. That'll be all from the Daily Sun.
And from the Daily Sun, we move to the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. On the Punch newspaper, Gencos, Discos rage as states begin tariff cuts. Gencos, Discos rage as states begin tariff cuts, talking about electricity distribution companies and generating companies there. Electricity Act fallout. And below that, we have a rider. Enugu defends power bill slash as Ondo, Plateau, others join tariff cuts. Genco's threaten shutdown. Genco's threaten shutdown. And we know what happens if the Gencos should shut down. If they are not generating, nothing can be distributed. So we just hope they resolve their differences. Moving towards the top strip of the Punch newspaper. We are looking at the Punch newspaper right now. Nigeria now spends half its revenue on debt. That's from presidential panel. Nigeria now spends half its revenue on debt. You find that story on page 38. And beside that, 2027, fresh LP crisis as Obi rejects Dati Abure peace deal. 2027, fresh LP crisis as Obi rejects Dati Abure peace deal. You find a story on page 7. Running mate of 2023 Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, Dati has been trying to, make peace with the Julius Abure-led faction of the Labour Party, but we understand Obi might not really, Mr. Peter Obi might not really be, involved in that for now. And that's a whole lot of crisis for the Labour Party. Let's just hope they resolve their differences and move forward. Beside that, we have another story. National Assembly showdown. Natasha faces police blockade today. National Assembly showdown. Natasha faces police blockade today. You find a story on page 7. This whole drama about suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, when will it come to an end? This has become, really messy. It's not looking good for Nigeria's National Assembly.
Right.
I mean, getting petty and all that. We have a court
Very
ruling.
petty.
Yeah. We have a court ruling already. Why not resolve? Must you, keep washing your dirty linen in public?
Yeah, the Senate President's office, they have appealed, but we don't know if they have a stay at the moment of interlocutory injunction. Yeah, but then whatever it is obviously more personal now. But then the name of the Hallowed Chamber,
that's the point,
is being mentioned over and over here for extracurricular activities, actually, because if it's just by what happened in the House that she has been suspended for, and for not following the rules, for whatever that she didn't do well and that she was suspended for, and the court has intervened to say you can't suspend her for that long, have her record, then there's still an appeal. Obviously, logically, it's not just about the business of the house.
It's all about egos now. They should just, enough of all this. I think the Senate presidents and the other top senators, they want Natasha to apologize. And Natasha, being a stubborn woman, as some people would say, and again, sometimes when you're right, you find it difficult to apologize. She might be looking at it from that angle. Why should I apologize? I'm not wrong. These things happen.
When that judgment was given, there is a part of that she was slammed 5 million for that satirical apology that she put up now. And the court said, okay, for that, slam 5 million naira, and then you should apologize. And I think via 2 daily newspapers and on your same Facebook. That's on one side, the satire and the whatever. Then her business of being a senator and the representation that she has for our Kogi people is what the court has said. You can't deny the people of Kogi State because of the action of their representative. And for that long, please reinstate her.
And guess what? A lot of people are supporting her. Many APC members have actually defected just because of what is happening.
Where?
Just to support Natasha.
In her
In Kogi State, yeah. Right. She's representing Kogi Central. I mean, so many defections to her party just to support her. Quite unfortunate. Well, moving on to other stories, still on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. At the middle of the page, you see the insert there. You see the picture of police officers, retired police officers protesting right there. Pension revolt. IG vows action after ex-police officers nationwide protest. Police officers protested in Abuja, Plateau, and some other parts of Nigeria, talking about the pension scheme that they describe as being exploitative, and they want to be pulled out of that scheme. Below that, on the bottom strip, we have services sector fuels 3.13% economic growth. Services sector fuels 3.13% economic growth. You find that story on page 38. And beside that, we have gunmen shoot 2 Nigerians dead in South Africa. Gunmen shoot 2 Nigerians dead in South Africa. You can find that story on pages 4 and 5. I just hope it's not, one of those cult clashes again in South Africa. Quite unfortunate. And finally, from the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, we have Awujale. Ogun government prepares for legal battle with Ifa Council. Awujale. Ogun government prepares for legal battle with Ifa Council. You find a story on page 9, talking about the late Obasiki Radetono, the Awujale of Ijebuland, who passed and was buried according to Islamic rites. The Ifa Council would not have any of that, and they are preparing to, go for the jugular to fight the government for violating their traditional rights. You'll find a story on page 8 of the Punch newspaper, and that'll be all from the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, from the Punch newspaper, let's have a look at the next one, which is the Nigerian Tribune. Nigeria's economy expands, records 3.13% growth in Q1. That sounds nice. Nigeria's economy expands, records 3.13% growth in Q1. And over 250 billion naira UB intervention fund unutilized by state government. UBAC says 92.4 billion naira disbursed in 6 months. All right, because there is a requirement for you to access the UBA funds. There are things that you should have done in your educational sector for you to have access to that. So obviously, many of them are not doing that. And so the fund is just lying there with UBAC. That's Universal Basic Education. Now, top strip, speculators panic as $1.31 billion FPI inflows, market reforms, a narrow exchange rate gap. Expert law CBN for driving rate convergence. And Obi's running mate, Dati, offers to resolve LP crisis, present at NEC meeting by Abure-led group. And here, IGP cautions protesting ex-police officers against external influence. Protesters insist on exits from contributing pension scheme. Interesting. And on the health, story, novel blood test predicts preeclampsia months before onset. Novel blood test predicts preeclampsia months before onset. Preeclampsia is high blood pressure in pregnant women. Now, you have a picture below that is that of the president, Dangote Group, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, Spanish former tennis player, ex-ATP #1, Rafael Nadal, and of course, Lagos #1, Jide Sanwo-Olu, somewhere in Monaco. All right. And Lagos to launch 500 billion agriculture initiative to end the food shortage. And 3.7 million people face food insecurity in northeastern Nigeria, just in the northeast Nigeria. That report is credited to the ICRC. 3.7 million people face food insecurity in northeastern Nigeria. And I think the reasons are not far-fetched.
Absolutely.
As far as the northeast is concerned.
Yeah, insecurity.
Yeah, that'll be all from the Nigerian Tribune.
Farms. Yeah. And from the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, we move to the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. On the Daily Trust, rebasing. Nigeria's GDP hits 372.82 trillion naira as poverty rate worsens. Rebasing. Nigeria's GDP hits 372.82 trillion naira as poverty worsens. Talking about the worsening level of poverty in Nigeria right there. Moving to the top strip, Tinubu's directive on Benue crisis yet to be implemented. That's according to Autumn. Beside that, we have Nigeria sliding towards authoritarian rule. That's coming from the NLC, the Nigerian Labour Congress. Nigeria sliding towards authoritarian rule. You might want to find out why by looking up that story on page 12 of the Daily Trust. And beside that, we have another one. Police pensioners hold protests in Abuja, Kwara, Plateau, others. Police pensioners hold protests in Abuja, Kwara, Plateau, others. You find that story on page 4. Moving to the bottom strip, Ganduje's replacement tops agenda as APC holds NEC meeting Thursday. Ganduje's replacement tops agenda as APC holds NEC meeting Thursday. And right at the middle of the page, you can see the picture of police officers, retired police officers, protesting right there. There are protests across the nation yesterday, talking about their contributory pension scheme, which they term as being exploitative. And on the bottom strip of the Daily Trust newspaper, Abuja demolition, victim dies hours after. Quite unfortunate. Abuja demolition, victim dies hours after. You find a story on page 20. Perhaps a victim has spent, their life savings on the property, and all of a sudden it's been pulled down, and they couldn't just survive it. They couldn't stand it. Quite unfortunate. Whatever we do, in as much as we want to implement the law, there should be a human face to it. Beside that, we have Northeast to pay highest rates in proposed electricity tariff hike. Northeast to pay highest rates in proposed electricity tariff hike. You find a story on page 23. And finally, from the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, 2027, PDP NEC to review report on zoning National Convention. 2027, PDP NEC to review report on zoning National Convention. You'll find a story on page 13. And that'll be all from the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. That also brings us to a conclusion of the newspaper review segment of the show this morning. We'll take a short break, and when we return, we dive into critical conversations. You do not want to miss the next segment. Please stay with us.